Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the Friendly Vibes.
Coming to you live from TSS Universidad. It's Top Shelf Studios, and I'm joined by someone I'm going to roast, and he's going to roast me. Upcoming, when this releases, it'll be like a couple days from now, Chet, that we're roasting each other. Chet Tilley, is that right? Did I pronounce that correctly?
That's right.
My God, these introductions, man, they are going to put me into the hospital. I'm bad with names, and I feel like I'm going to always mess up someone's name, and it's a thing I got to work on. So I'm glad I got lucky with the Tilley.
Yeah, it's a stage name anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Nice. Okay.
Don't put too much stock into it.
Chet Comedy on Instagram. Check him out. It's all around Denver. Are you from Colorado originally?
No, I'm a New Yorker.
New Yorker, okay.
Go Yankees.
That's why the usage of shvitz was thrown around so loosely before we started.
Yep, a New York Jew. I love a good shvitz in the sauna.
I don't think any of my friends even knew that word growing up, so that's a quick identifier. I should have placed that.
Oh yeah, we can seek each other out for sure.
How long have you been out in Colorado?
6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I gotta say, I like it. The real story was, I think I was probably on some acid at like a Red Rock show, seeing String Cheese. I was like, I belong here, like thinking like, oh, I can just do this all the time. And there was a ski. I was like, Denver's it's a cool place to be. You go in the summer and it looks hip everywhere you go. You go on First Friday, you're like, wow, so many beautiful people having so much fun. This is all right.
Yeah, the call of the mountains got to him.
Yeah, what about you? Where are you from?
I grew up outside of Boulder here. I was born in California, but then I've been trying to put a joke together about it, but like my parents, born in Santa Cruz, California, whitest at the time, most liberal place in the world. And they're relatively conservative, so it didn't make sense to me. Then we moved to Boulder, Colorado, which was to become the whitest, most liberal place in the world.
Probably because they wanted to make sure that it was whites only, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, like they were like, well, politics aside, we just want to make sure it's just white people.
Yeah, just put labels on it. Like a good, safe community. Yeah. Just a bunch of tagline phrases. Oh, my goodness. Well, I think when this drops, Chet, the election will be very imminent, maybe a day away.
Yeah. What do you think people are looking forward to more, the election or a roast battle?
It being over, both for both of them.
Yeah, for sure.
You've done roast before though, so you think you've got the upper hand on me.
I've done a few, and I was actually kind of stepping back, but then I forgot that I signed up for it. But I'm like, no, it's fun. It's all good fun. It challenges you to write differently and meaner.
Yeah, that's where I feel like I'm going to struggle because I don't tend to fall unless I'm, mean to myself, not others. I feel like I fall into that. You
can be silly, and I think that's kind of why in some ways I've taken a step back too, because I was like, oh man, I want to roast. You see it everywhere because you go to the battles and depends on the battle, but there's a lot of really really good comics, and yes, it's a formulaic joke structure, but making it work and personable, detailed, but it does kind of scare me sometimes. My last assignment is say, it ended up not working out. That person bailed. A very good comic, but that person was a woman of color, and I was like, I wrote jokes. They were funny in my mind, but I was kind of glad I didn't have to
figure out where the line was going to be.
I didn't have to say it because I think even if you figure out the line, those jokes probably were over the line. I mean, I don't know. They were over the line for Denver. I think it would have been fine. This person was super likable anyway. They probably would have crushed me. But I was kind of like, it's fine.
So how long have you been doing comedy in general then?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just had, I think it's been 2 years. Yeah, it's been 2 years. Man, time flies.
What called you into comedy? What do you do for a day job?
I am currently a full-time comic.
That's awesome.
No, I just got fired. It's fine.
Full-time comic by necessity then.
No, I work in tech in the travel industry, etc. Okay. It's all fine. It works out. But technically right now I am at my full-time comic moment that I probably hope doesn't. I like to have a day job and do comedy at night. I think it's the right balance.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a grind regardless of how you do it. So if you can sustain a living and not be...
I can't. No. There's no chance at my level I'm sustaining any. I don't even...
Well, I'm saying with the day job so that you can do comedy while you're getting better. And then you reach a stage of, proficiency where you can then sustain maybe a living.
It seems wild to think someone could live off that in Denver, right? Like,
you have to be a road comic. I don't think you can be like a living comic on comedy in one city.
I don't think any comics are like just comics in Denver, right? Are there?
Yeah, there's just comics in Denver. Well, they don't just stay in Denver.
They
do shows around the country. I mean, they do. So I guess there are there are Comedy Works pros, like our staff of pro roster. I guess there's some extent of them that are just comics. A lot of them do other things too, just because they're so like multifaceted people.
Yeah. So the pros at Comedy Works, a lot of them don't have day jobs?
Yeah, some of them.
Okay.
I think a lot of them, actually, at this point, yeah.
You're at the South Club, right?
Yeah, I'm primarily at the South Club.
How long have you been there?
Over a year.
And you were doing comedy when you started there, too? Or no?
Yeah, I started comedy in college.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'd graduated during COVID. I worked at a comedy club in Cedar Rapids where I went to school.
Oh,
but
cool.
Then, the pandemic, and I had some chronic pain shit. So I got a back surgery and spinal fusion. So now I could actually do stand up. The biggest thing was I couldn't sit around in a chair and wait for 2 hours to get up.
Comedy is a physical sport. People don't know that, but it takes a lot to go to mics. That's not to be slept on. It's real. So, and you like the South Club?
Yeah.
Are you only at the South? Is
Pretty
that how
much,
it works?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could probably pick up shifts or whatever, but yeah, I mean, I've started at South, and because I had been doing the pod before I started, I was able to kind of quickly get up to where I was doing the sound and the production. So I'm the sound guy. I'm the sound guy at South. Yeah.
Is the sound guy also light?
I mean, yeah, we do light sound announcements, but we have to also be a door guy too. So we're cleaning up fucking puke and also doing the door guy things. We're not just a sound guy. That's the other thing that's weird.
But you do the sound and you also do the lights.
Yeah, and you're also cleaning glassware and stuff like that.
Are they bringing back up next?
I hope so.
Oh, me too, dude. Now that I finally got that B-list, I can do it.
Nice. So, I was going to ask. I saw some clips on your Instagram of Comedy Work sets.
Yeah, it was nice. They've been cool. I had 2 weeks in a row though that I went first, and then I did New Faces and had to open too. And I was like, I just want to do Comedy Works and not have to be the first person on stage after the host. But
But you're a likable guy. First spot's good for you.
It's fine. But I want to get good tape. That's sick. So you work every weekend pretty much?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
So I've been working my day job and then that for the past year.
What field are you in?
I am an accountant and title compliance guy for a small private equity firm, mainly in manufactured housing. So
that's cool.
Property management by extension.
Yeah, and then
and then I'm a door guy.
A door guy, but does that make it tougher for gigs?
Yeah, I mean, my path through it has been I'm gonna keep writing and working in the dark, and hopefully get better, and then an opportunity will come my way. And that happened in May. Got a guest spot for a sold out Comedy Works South.
Sick. Who was there?
Jamie Lasso was the name of the comic.
And did you know this person before?
No. He literally, I didn't even ask for the spot. He went and asked the manager if he could give me a spot.
Did he, you didn't know him at all? It was just this guy looks tall?
I was scheduled on the something like that, dude. It was weird. I was scheduled on the list to be on Branch Show later that Friday.
Tobler?
On the Late Show, yeah.
Cool.
So I did his storytelling show.
Oh, okay.
And they had, been there the previous night, helped them with the merch. The feature was I saw your name on the list, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I do, first time here on tomorrow or after the show. And got there, light times, went back to sound. And then got called to the manager's office and thought I was in trouble, and turned out I wasn't.
That's sick.
So,
Brant's a very good pickleball player. I play with him sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's out there. He plays at MLK a ton. I haven't seen him out there in a minute.
I bet he's trying to find a wife like that.
I could see that.
I love Brant. He was on the Easter episode this year, and we talked about how he just wants to be a dad, and I love that guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, it's gotta be tough at that level of comedy. I gotta say, I mean, it's funny because my girlfriend, I go to a partner, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But we'll go to shows, and she's she's Latina. In her mind, she thinks like I perform and there's just a million women just like in love, ready to be like, oh my God, you're so funny. Can we marry? Can you cheat on me?
That's the cheating timer.
Yeah.
The wings need a flipping. I got to flip these.
Yeah, flip them.
All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
This is our signature station identification. You listen to radio before in your life? You're listening to 91.1. Oh shit, was that another plane? We'll be right back.
Nice.
And we're back. The wings are flipped. Sorry about that. That was a very awkward timing.
No, all good, all good. What, you putting in smoky Traeger or something?
A little Traeger action. A little Traeger in the backyard.
You put the pellets in?
Yeah, a little electro. It was the way I could get around the no grill rule at my old apartment complex.
Oh, they didn't say anything about smokers?
Flames. And it's an electronic pellet grill. It's not a gas grill.
I have a Traeger that I just don't use enough. I should. Maybe this will inspire me. It's pretty easy?
Let me give you a great recipe that you could use.
Okay.
Super easy one. Great for a date night. Glass of wine, bottle of wine, you crack it open. You get some Alaskan salmon, get some blackening seasoning, put it on the salmon, wrap it in aluminum foil, get some asparagus, olive oil, salt, pepper, throw that on the smoker. I mean, high, put it up, just let it go. You can't really get it wrong. I think that was me on accident.
No, I think that's
okay.
me. I'm mute.
That's a cannot mess it up, always good type of meal. Asparagus and salmon.
I'm a Jew, and we had a break fast. Actually, one of the comics, nice guy, William Weiner, he hosted this break fast after fasting, and he cured salmon, and I love smoked salmon, and it was one of the best things. And I think like he gave me the recipe, and I think like lox, like I think that's gonna be my next salmon thing. Get a thing from Costco and just.
Can you teach me this? Is there a differentiation between what makes it lox versus salmon?
Well, lox is like the smoked. It's like smoked salmon, but really it's more like cured salmon.
Okay.
Which I think you just leave it in the fridge.
Interesting.
And I think it cures. And
like in some type of brine or salt or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then you, I don't know, put some brown sugar, some citrus, and it's like you slice it thinly, and you just eat it raw.
Yeah, that sounds really, really good.
I think it cooks in the brine, so yeah, that's all right. So that's interesting. You see headliners 3 times a weekend at Comedy Works?
Probably 6. I mean, typically at least 5.
At least 5.
Yeah, because like nowadays, because we're kind of, we've had some turnover and whatnot, I'll see, if I'm working Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I'm on sound, I'll see all those sets pretty, if they change something up, I'll notice type of thing.
Yeah, so how is the variance? Are there some comics that don't change anything, or everyone changes?
One really good example for this that I've unfortunately kind of abused, and it's Matthew Broussard. He performed over the weekend of October 7th last year, and on the Thursday night show, he did 10 minutes of Jewish material about 15 minutes into his set. That was really banging, and he just took it out for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You have to do that for sure. I mean, people don't like Jews.
Just put it at the end. Just put it at the end. I don't know.
I don't know. I
would have been fine with it if you did it in the same spot, but
I have a lot of Jewish jokes. The audience is pulled back in Denver. I mean, I had one where the tagline was Venmo me at the Jewish side bomber 9/11. I wrote it before October 7th. It was in good taste, I promise. It was a great joke, and I definitely don't tell that anymore. But for some crazy reason, my Venmo, I couldn't change it back, so sometimes people would type my name in it, and it would just say the Jewish side bomber 9/11. And my guys would like call Venmo to be like, can you change this?
Can you fix this problem I'm having?
Like, what? Yeah, I guess.
I'm trying to get paid for gigs and not lose friends.
Yeah, I was like, this is controversial. It was a good bit, but I can't tell that anymore. They make it tougher to be a Jew in Denver these days, but hanging in there.
So what got you into comedy?
I was partying pretty hard on my 29th birthday in Colombia on a finca with my friends, and I was actually doing a bit about how white women are the worst and Latin women are way better. I'm with the Latina. Right. I wasn't at the time. Well, I was in Colombia, but
you were manifesting.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where like my friends were dying, and then they would just be like, "You got to do stand up. Push me to do stand up." And I remember I actually did that joke at Rise, and they hated it. And that's where I learned you have to read the audience. I did it for all white women, and they did not like that joke. It's a great joke. Since then, I've used it a ton of times because I do Spanish comedy too. And when I do it in Spanish, it hits pretty well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you done Spanish comedy since the start?
Yeah, I've done it in Argentina, which was pretty neat.
Wow.
I've been very fortunate. I've done comedy international at quite a few places. Mostly because I was international in quite a few places and decided.
So not by happenstance. It's not like you go there on a vacation and you're also like, I could do comedy while I'm here. Like you go there for the comedy.
No.
Oh, okay.
The former. I
Gotcha.
go there. Like I went to Japan this year and I did Tokyo Comedy Bar and Osaka.
Do you get some notoriety as being like an American comic? Or no?
Not as much because like those places are all expats. So if they are having people do it, like they're usually American. In Argentina, sure, I was, it was all Argentinians and I was American speaking Spanish. So they're absolutely. And then London, they don't care. Amsterdam, they were kind of nice to me there. But
was that recently that you did those? Like within the last 2 years then?
Actually, I did like London and I did London when I was like 2 months into comedy, which was really cool. Yeah, it was a crazy story actually. The day before my show, I was in a terrorist attack. Yeah, that was pretty wild.
In London?
In Turkey. I was in Istanbul, and it was like a bombing on the street I was on. I was like feet away from like... Yeah, so that was kind of hard. Comedy really helped me like through those tough times because I knew I had a gig. I shouldn't say a gig because it wasn't paid. I knew I had the opportunity to perform, which was a big deal for me, not just at an open mic.
That's a gig.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm gonna be honest. Here, we can do open mic, spot, gig, whatever type of semantic gymnastics you want at this level, and then paid show. It's like another rung, and then we can go, feature.
Yeah, it was a spot. There. It was a spot.
That's sick, dude. Yeah. Come on, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not the terrorist attack part.
Yeah, I mean, I think I paid to perform. It wasn't like they sought me out. I think sure. They have. I don't know.
Is it kind of like New York over there in London, where you have to pay to get up?
I think probably definitely probably should have paid with how green I was at the time. Anyway, like I don't think I would be able to get a spot. I can't speak to. I think we see comics come out, like a few that I know that they go there and they're getting book spots. And I think now, I'm sure I can get on some shows. I have the connection now, and I wouldn't have really wanted to ask because who was I? I don't think it would look very good for anyone, including the Denver scene, to be 2 months and be like, "Hey, I'm a Denver comic," because I was aspiring.
Facts.
But
I felt like relieved to have gotten up at the mothership and not eaten dick the whole time.
You got up at the mothership? Yeah, that's sick, dude.
Because I was like thinking, exactly what you just said of like, I can't poorly represent, even though I'm not gonna. Did I say I'm from Denver? I forget. But
for sure, what did you do the open mic?
Yeah, on the Sunday before I was trying to get up on Kill Tony.
Okay. Did you know the people there, like the door people, or that you just got it? Was it hard? Like, was it? I mean,
I had a buddy. I think I kind of got on because a buddy of mine, or a guy that I had met that became my buddy, Connor Nutt, who's an Austin comic. I was down there and I was like dragging his ass to sign up for the open mic.
Yeah, that's definitely how it works.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not a random open mic.
I think he was saying something like it's probably partial, like partial pull, partial. Like they pull some randoms and then they look over the list type of thing.
Yeah,
which it would make sense if you're selling tickets to an open mic.
Was it really cool?
Oh, so cool. Yeah, absolutely. So cool.
Yeah, that's
dream come true type of cool.
I would like to go to Austin. That's definitely a bucket list spot. And I don't know why I haven't. I should just book a flight. Maybe even next week. Who cares, right? Fuck it. I don't have a job.
At this point, I mean, you could.
Yeah.
Go try to get on Kill Tony.
I would like to, and I mean, there's been some great comics. David Gamble, good friend of mine, who was on Kill Tony recently. I mean, Mike Hammock, I haven't seen his episode, but Luke Stem. A lot of Springs comics.
Springs getting some love.
A ton of Springs comics have actually been getting on Kill Tony, which is interesting because I don't think there's been that many Denver comics on there recently.
I mean, Denver's a great scene, so you gotta kind of also...
Yeah. But
there's maybe less... I don't know. Do you think it's random? Maybe it's just random. Maybe there is Denver comics going every week and they're just not getting pulled.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot go through Roast. Like, I definitely know a few. I'd love to get on Kill Tony. That'd be great. I got my minute. It'll be fine. Should be a good time.
Yeah, that would be like a, lifetime achievement type of goal of just getting on that show for sure.
Oh yeah,
I'm kind of glad. I felt really relieved upon further reflection that I was like, oh, maybe I'm glad I got up at the open mic and not on Kill Tony. Like, oh, maybe this is good, and maybe I come back in 2 years, and I was like thankful that maybe I wasn't supposed to. You can't get too greedy with things in life, it seems.
I mean, it's probably, I don't know. I don't get nervous anymore, but it would be a pretty big crowd to go up in front of everyone. It seems so hard to get pulled for Kill Tony now,
Oh, man. Some of these people are signed up 50 weeks in a row. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that way with Comedy Works sometimes. I'm like, have I signed up 20 weeks? What the heck, But...
Well, you're already B?
Yeah, now I think it's going to be a little bit easier. But yeah, I think I'm probably at 12 or 13 now. But I was getting pulled at like 18 to 20 sometimes. And I'm like, why is it longer? But yeah, do you do Comedy Works when you can?
I haven't done. Oh,
never?
No.
How come?
Just waiting.
Why? Get in there.
No problem. There's no rush.
I guess. Well, it's a treat, You can just
it's definitely a treat, dude. I want to be better when I do it.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, you go on so seldom anyway. Where it's
that's fair. I mean, I'm gonna probably sign up at 25. I just was kind of waiting. Also like working. It's
Yeah, it's pressure, right? Is it extra pressure?
I think there's a little bit of it in my mind of it, but I don't know if it should be there.
Are any other people in the South Club, are they comics?
Yeah, there's a few people that are comics. We recently lost Lucas to Austin. He's working as a door guy down at the Creek in the Cave.
Lucas who?
Medeiros. I don't know if you know him.
But he was doing comedy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I knew him. No.
Well, most of the people, honestly, at South are they're open micers now.
They do go.
There's a few open micers, like Jack. An open micer. Xander's gone to a few open mics, to my knowledge. Nick Hahn is kind of joined the
Nick
staff
Hahn's,
recently.
Yeah, he's working there. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that told me we were schwitzing, and he was like, you gotta do it. I was like, well, we are roasting each other. That'd be great. Yeah. That was a fun little room, the pinball thing.
That was good.
Yeah.
I love a convention center hotel gig.
It was probably my second one at a hotel, I think. I did.
What was the first like?
I did a Best Western in Wyoming, which was a crazy situation. I got to book the show too. I went with Elliot Broder, who's a good friend, and Jesse Carter, who it was a good show. But I have an EV and my car died right before we went to the venue.
Oh no!
Yeah, like miles before. Elliot picked me up. But the good news is, if your car dies in Wyoming, everyone's got a truck to tow you. So one of the audience members the next day told me to, me and Emmy told us to a charge station. She's really great. She's, one of those Wyoming people who friend you on Facebook and will message every once in a while right on your wall. Only one that writes on your wall. Hey, you doing any gigs in Wyoming coming up? So I guess I made a fan. Show was great. I did 25 minutes.
Whoa. Was that your first time doing 25?
Yeah. I think I might have done slightly over 25, but I don't think I did 30. But yeah, they were just do whatever you want. And it was a lot of fun, and we were having a blast. And, there was over 100 people there. It was
awesome, dude.
100, 150, so it wasn't too bad.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it was a good show. They're not doing it anymore, unfortunately. It was called Comedy and Cuisine. I didn't know about the cuisine part. It looked kind of... It wasn't really known for its food. There were some baked beans and some hot dogs.
It could have stuck to the comedy and just been just fine.
Yeah. But it was, I think it was either an open bar or drink tickets. People were shit-faced there. Everyone was very drunk. It was cool. It was a good time.
That's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
That's 25 seems... I've done 15, but 25 seems... I would be a little bit worried right now about doing 25.
I've done it a few times. I haven't done 30, but I've done it. Every time I felt pretty comfortable, but I did a little bit more crowd interaction. I do like the longer sets because I enjoy, making it more of a crowd situation too, which I don't always do at 10, and I do it a little bit, and I find that it is a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't do any crowd stuff, so I need to get venture out into that at some point.
I gotta get better. I have some bits that kind of lead into it a little bit more, and it's fun, and I like talking to people.
Yeah.
Are you got any gigs coming up you're excited about? Is just the Weenie Roast main one?
I've got, gosh, when this published, I just had one at Garrett's at
Locust?
Yeah, Locust Cider.
Oh no way! I was on the.
Are you on the 69th one?
I was on the last one.
The last one, okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to do that.
It was a packed house.
Yeah, you were on the one that was like the biggest one they've ever done. Then.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
That
he
would
was
make
hyped.
sense.
He came on the pod the next day after that and was like hung bagel.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was. There were a lot of people there. It was fun. I think Garrett had his like high school friends or something, or
like work
friends.
Yeah. High school friends.
Oh yeah, they were. It was packed. It was a good show for sure.
That's sick. I dragged his ass up to go disc golfing in the mountains, and he told me that he has been outside of the city of Denver maybe what he could count on both his hands in the 4 years he lived here. And I'm like, we got to get you up more, dude.
Are you a big disc golfer?
I like disc golf. Yeah, I played Ultimate in high school after retiring from basketball and football, and enjoyed that, but definitely couldn't play that at my weight. So
my tenant, he is obsessed with disc golf. He does tournaments. I used to go to Johnny's and play a little bit. I was not very good. My best was a +8 at Johnny's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
pretty
rough.
Bad. Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough time. Is it the motion? Is it what?
I don't have the distance.
It's a bad joke, but the disc too big.
Yeah, I have baby hands.
I mean,
so
that is
maybe.
a big part of it. Honestly, is like the grip is like an understated part of the thing.
I can't grip it that well, and like I would. Maybe
like certain people, there's certain like rims of the disc that they like or don't like based on the hand feel. They can't throw discs. Their form is fine, but the feel of it in their hand isn't right, and they cannot throw discs.
No, it's challenging. It's challenging for me because like Johnny's, I like to play because they're not really like.
Are you up on that
holes.
side of town?
No, I'm at City Park.
Okay,
but I would go all the time to Johnny's with my roommate when we was during COVID because there's nothing else we could do.
What a relaxing time walking around Johnny's.
Yeah, it was really nice during
COVID. Did they shut that down at all?
No.
Okay.
No, Johnny's was great, and like we would go during COVID kind of regularly, and he was better than me, and he was so into it, and I was like, it's not bad. I had discs. I knew the discs very well. I had
Do you still have your discs?
I had some. I think I putted with a Judge.
There you go.
That was or sometimes an Avery, but mostly a Judge. And I had a Buzz, a Leopard.
Oh yeah, those are the best. Those are the best. Those are the intro all-timers.
I liked
Mount Rushmore.
It wasn't the Sheriff, it was a different one, but it was like, those
yeah, something like that. There's so many. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's cool to see how much the sport's expanded.
It is fun, and I did enjoy going to Johnny's. I had a bag. We went. It was fun. I like sports. I'm a sports guy.
Did you grow up playing sports?
Wrestled. I was a wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. In high school and college, or
high school, not college, and I play a lot of tennis. I could have probably done D3. I did make it to states wrestling, so like that.
Gotcha. What weight were you?
96 pounds.
Is that like the entry?
New York has it. Some don't, but New York, it is the entry. Some start at 103.
Oh.
Yeah, but New York starts at 96, which...
Did you cut to get down to that?
I cut a lot of weight, yeah.
I bet.
I was good at sucking weight. I mean, I don't know if I was good at it. I hated it, but I did it. I could do it.
That's brutal. So what would you cut? How much would you have to cut down?
I'd cut like 8 pounds.
God.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I mean, I guess I could do it now, but I don't know. I just love eating. I love eating then too, but like, yeah, not for survival, just for sport. I just love fucking eating. I love it.
What's if you had like a dish that death dish. You got to take one dish before you die. Last meal. What are you going with?
I don't know. I like a lot, but I like sushi. I'm a big sushi guy.
You get the boat just so you can eat for like days and days until they kill you.
I should get a boat. There is an all-you-can-eat sushi place that does it well in Denver.
Oh, I've been to one that does it well.
Yeah, is it the one with the robot that comes out?
No, is that a different place I need to go?
Yes.
Okay.
It is very good.
What is this place?
The robot brings the food.
The robot brings the food.
That is a good question. Let me see. I could probably tell you.
Because I love sushi. My pocketbook doesn't, but I need to, that just means that's a skill issue, Sam. You're not here, but that's a skill issue that my pocket doesn't like sushi.
Best all-you-can-eat sushi Denver.
It seems like you just can't keep an all-you-can-eat sushi place in business because of natural market forces.
It wasn't even expensive, which was the crazy thing. That was the wild. It was like $35 for dinner.
See, that seems too good to be true almost.
And the fish was solid quality. Now, it was kind of far away, which was a little annoying.
Was it south?
It was in some suburb that was kind of crazy. Man, maybe this place isn't open anymore. None of this.
Market forces got him.
Is there Kensai or
Katsu? Sushi Katsu?
Maybe. That sounds like
been there.
It could be.
Pretty good place. It is like $35 too, so it would be right on the mark for the money
yeah,
side
$35 is like what I want to spend, because for two people, if I get $70, it's still a decent price for me. My partner loves, like, we'll go out to eat, and she is about portion control, and she's like, we'll just split something, and she cooks most of the time. I don't mind, but like that way we don't have too many leftovers, and it's not too crazy when we go out to eat, because going out to eat's so expensive.
Oh, it's crazy, dude. I mean, I should ask for a bump in pay just because of the cost to maintain my body size. It's crazy.
It's insane. And Emmy cooks 2-3 meals a day, so she's a very good cook. Live with a Argentinian who spoils me.
Oh.
So it's like,
you know, sounds well. That's sick.
Yeah, it's very good. Latin women.
Oh, big ups.
Are the best for sure. Shout out to Emmy if she's watching, which she probably might. Who knows?
Let's hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
We send our love and regards from the studio, from the live studio.
So you got the wings. Did you what's your go-to? Do you go buffalo? Do you go different type of hot sauce?
Doing a little dry rub for us today.
Dry rub, okay.
Dry rub, and then we can throw some barbecue sauce on there.
Nice. I like a good dry rub. Plus, keeps the calories down.
Yeah,
healthier.
I mean, hey, it's all just sugar in the end.
It's like one of those brown sugar.
No, I mean, it's not. But it seems like everything with barbecue, if you get anything that tastes good in barbecue, the secret behind why it tastes good, it's sugar. If you look at any of these
barbecue
things
ones,
in barbecue,
barbecue sauce have a ton. Oh, I had one of those burgers.
Oh yeah,
I had a glow in the dark burg.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm a big burg guy myself.
There was a time where, when I was single, not so recent, I hooked up with this gal, and it was kind of in my disc golf phase. Like, I wasn't really into it too much, but she apparently was a manager at Another Round. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she was like, "Oh yeah, come in. We just got this really rare glow in the dark burg. Like, everyone wants it. You can have it." Like,
do you still have it?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, somewhere. My roommate didn't take it, which.
It's gone. It's gone.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was gone. But I think I have it. Yeah, it was kind of cool. Did you get aces with those, or is that why those were framed?
I don't know. I think I just hung those up because we need something on the wall there, to be honest with you.
Oh, I guess they fit the frame. Have you got an ace before?
Oh yeah, I got a couple, but
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then should hang them up. Should get some more, but I gotta get some comedy posters up on this wall.
Yeah, what would you get?
We just got some. I've got some signed from shows I've worked in. Sam Adams gave me a Sydney 2000 newspaper article. I'm going to hang up.
What is that?
It's a article he wrote from the Sydney 2000 Olympics.
Oh, that's cool.
Sam Adams. He was a sports
that's right.
writer for a long time.
I did a show. I got a spot on a show, I really should say. And he was so kind to me. He gave me some tags and stuff, and it was really cool.
He is such a nice guy. Couldn't be a bigger fan of his as a dude and a good, clean comic. I mean,
he's a very good comic, and I didn't really know him too well because I, would at that point probably only knew the people who were at open mics, right?
Right. Which are not clean comics.
They're not clean comics. Wish I was cleaner. I'm working on some cleaner stuff, but it's hard to be clean.
I unintentionally restarted clean after my break of surgery recovery and whatnot. Yeah, I was like doing like the guest set, and my manager's like, "You realize you're working clean?" I'm like, "Huh, no, but okay, thank you." So I'm gonna keep trying to work clean.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't curse, but my mind just goes to sexual stuff way too often.
It's the Latin wife.
Yeah, I have too many bits on that, but I have been writing a little bit more clean. We got a cat, so I'm trying to do some wholesome cat stuff.
Wholesome cat stuff, okay.
Yeah, I think...
well, I mean, you could write about losing your job now.
Yeah, it's true, but it's not like... I guess it is interesting how when you lose your job, just like the bills just pile up. It's wild. Like, like the other day, actually this was today. This wasn't even the other day. My washer just broke. Like, we had a feeling it broke. The guy came today, and he said it would be $600 to replace everything, which is like the cost of a new washer. So I was just like, all right, I guess that's life now,
Jesus.
But it's wild. Things just like, you lose your job, and then it's like they know it's like everything, which is fine. I'm good. Everything's all good. But it's an interesting thing, like how people say it rains, it pours, and I'm just like, oh, that can't happen.
It's so true.
It's wild.
I definitely
believe
it's true. Yeah,
it's such an interesting thing. Or when it's good, and it's like, oh, all right. But the problem is, if it's bad, it's worse than it being good. Because if it's good, you're just like, nice. Or if it's bad, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a human fault, though. Is like we're bad at taking the observant step back to say, acknowledge the good. We're too consumed by the bad, which is why social media is, you get virality out of hate more than you do out of anything cool or funny.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I used to keep a gratitude journal, but I haven't been like down on myself or anything like that where I need to. But like, I do think it is good to be more grateful. Like, there is a lot of good, and that's why it's like, while all this stuff's happening, it's not like,
I think there's some funny in it too. I'll tell you this. I found in my own, like, I dig into the gratitude journaling sometimes, and it's like, oh, I'm getting like grateful about these tiny things more than the big things. And there's some humor there. Yeah.
But you also have to like think about it too. You're like, 5 things a day or whatever it is. Then you're like, oh, I guess these, I don't know, fucking cereal I had this morning was tasty. It's like,
but if you think about it, we get so psyoped by everything else we take in around us. Can't we psyop ourselves better? Like, it seems reasonable that we could hypnotize ourselves better than the deep hypnotics we're already under within the modern structures of society and media.
It is true. You probably need to like figure out how to step away. I mean, I feel like comedy forces me to keep social media, which sucks, because if there was no comedy for me in my life, I would delete social media like that. And I'm on it. No, I'm still on it a lot. I was going to say I was on it less, but that wouldn't even be true. I'm still on it a crazy amount. It's just less.
The doom scrolling? Is it like Instagram? Are you TikToking?
It is kind of funny, and this is probably not funny ever in an audience, but I've replaced Instagram with LinkedIn.
What?
Because I'm trying to find a gig, and because I need to fill my time.
So you're just scrolling.
I'm just
other people's like weird posts about products and their companies.
That was probably the funnier angle. I just look at jobs, but that would be a funnier thing if I was just like, man, I wonder what Chelsea's
3 years at KPMG. Way to go, Kelsey.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm so happy for her. or actually, that is kind of funny. Like the parallel of like someone has a baby and you're just like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. And you're like, oh, this person's been with 3 years. This person's way too happy. Fuck them. That type of...
Right.
That's kind of...
And then there's an angle. You could even do a dichotomy of like, I'm, looking for jobs. And then I go to the, feed, and the feed's nothing but anniversary postings about how their lives are completed by their work. Ugh. It's like, no, fuck that. Yeah, there's something there for sure. There's no doom scrolling if you're writing about the scrolling. It's not doom then, it's scrolling for good.
It's scrolling for hope.
Scrolling for hope. Mining for bits.
I think that is actually kind of funny because it's so true. That's a nice thing about probably these podcasts in general. When you're having conversation, a lot of time I think about this sometimes, and sometimes I backed away from going to open mics. I still go, but I'm not like as much like, and I'm very blessed to get stage time, so it's not that. I realize when I go to a mic, yes, sometimes I could be hanging out with a comic, but just like kicking it and chilling it, like you hang with funny people, you get better ideas, and I've been practicing that there. I write a lot with people. I like that. Do you write with people or sometimes?
I mean, I'm always open to it.
You're open? Hell yeah. That'd be good. I think I'm down. I write with Vaughn a lot. Nick,
I don't know if I've met Vaughn.
Vaughn Sprecken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've hung out with him, but I've met him in passing at least.
I met him and we're both reading the same comedy book and we vibed.
Which book?
At that point, that's a great question. It was, we might have been reading a book about resistance, which is it was either War of Art, not to be confused with Art of War, War of Art, the Resistance.
By Stephen Pressfield?
Yes, Pressfield, exactly.
Love that book. One of the best books about resistance.
Everything's resistance.
Right behind Sisyphusian's biography, am I right?
I don't think I read that. Is that good?
I'm saying the guy that rolled the rock up the hill for eternity. His biography would be quite a resistance-based biography.
That from the game Hades, that he had the chain next to the rock.
There it is.
I learned a little about Greek mythology that way.
It's also just the toughest word for me to say, Sisyphusian, so I just try to squeeze it in wherever I can. No, well, yeah, clearly. Since I only post doctor holding me.
I didn't notice the list until you said, but I had a speech impediment and I'm not very observant, so it could be that.
I think I'm just trying to get better at my pronunciation and I'm poor.
I had a speech impediment as a kid. My R sounded like W's.
Oh.
And the kids would just physically beat the shit out of me until I talked better.
What?
Yeah.
That's a solution.
And it worked.
I mean, it worked for us in Japan, too. Yeah. Japan, they've gotten in line.
It really did work.
It's crazy that worked in both.
Yeah, it was wild.
Did it actually work for real? They, beat it out of you?
I guess, yeah. They kept making me say reroute their cryptic code and something like that. You know what was fucked up? I had a speech impediment and my therapist's name was Rory Rorenberg.
Wow, okay, Mr. Rory, let's have a conversation about names.
Yeah,
and fields of work.
Are you fucking kidding me? Couldn't even say my speech doctor's name. That's kind of funny, I guess.
I got to joke about my uncle. We had to call adults by their last names in my house growing up. And my uncle lived with us. And fake uncle. But his name was Bill Swales. And Mr. Swales. Swales is a tough name for a kid to pronounce. It's got the SW, the LS. That's tough shit. And I finally understand why I don't see 4-year-olds walk around saying swastika.
Was it a proper because you said your parents were very conservative?
Relatively conservative.
That seems like a conservative thing.
Yeah, right? It is. I mean, it's just a proper, it's a proper Midwestern American thing.
Midwestern proper.
Yeah. It's called manners, Chet. Some people have them, some people don't.
People would call my dad Mr. Tillis or whatever, and my dad would be kind of pissed. He would be don't call, just call me by my name. What the hell? And I thought that was interesting. I mean, teach their own, right? I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I kind of think about that sometimes. It's what would I do if I have kids, And
do you want to have kids?
Yeah, my partner and I are pretty serious. We have a 4 or 5 year plan. So we've been together 2 years, So, yeah.
Is that until you guys go to IPO or what?
I want to have a boy. I really don't want to have a girl.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems less fun.
I feel like they're both going to be just fun in their different ways.
I guess. I mean, that's what you have to tell yourself beforehand when you don't know, too, because then you're I can't.
Also, I feel like as a dad, if you have a girl, you guaranteed that lifelong kind of I don't know. I feel like dads get a guaranteed, if you're a decent person, you're going to pretty much set up for a good, longer, there's rockiness. They'll take care of you? I don't know. There just feels like there's rockiness between women on women relationships, and especially mom-daughter. Inherently. There's inherently more, likelihood of that injecting itself, even in a healthy, good situation, than there is with the dad and a daughter.
They'll prefer you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Just an observation.
It's interesting because if we have kids, the direction it would look like is I would have half Latino kid. My kid would be half Latino.
Yeah.
And it would be raised that way. And that's kind of an interesting thing. I don't really know what Latino kids are like. Like, do I have to like Google Latino kids to know what
No, I mean, I grew up with some Latino kids for sure.
Yeah, I guess
in Colorado, definitely there were lots. We had lots of Latin influence in our public school systems.
What if they say the N-word?
I mean, I don't think your kid can say the N-word. There's no way they're going to be. She's very dark. Ooh. Oh, I guess you just got to wait and see.
I won't be able to say the N-word, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't, of course.
But the kid, it just depends on the kid then.
Yeah. Will they be allowed to?
That's, I think, up for them in society at that point to decide.
Yeah. Well, it might be more progressive then at that point.
Maybe everyone will be saying it.
That'll be the new thing. We'll just go full circle.
Super progressive. They'll be calling you that.
I think that's kind of funny though. That's actually something good. Like, what if I do have a Latino kid? You know, I kind of, in my mind, I always thought I was going to have a fully white kid, but I've been with the Latina and we're talking about kids, so it's like, oh yeah, that kid will also be half Latino.
I'm surprised you've been with a Latino for so long and not already had a kid.
That's true.
I mean, you must be very calculated. Your moves. I tell you, I am someone who's like 100% irresponsible, perfect pull-out game. I realize we have to change that. We're making a change. But I just think that's such a crazy thing. Because I'm someone who's like normally very calculated. And in this one instance, like it's always paid off. Like there's never... Well, you're calculated in that you pull out.
Yeah, but like... we always learn that pulling out is not 100% effective. Is it 100% effective?
Seems
it might
like
be,
it is.
right?
Seems like it is.
You think they were just lying to us, like when they said like don't do drugs because like they know drugs are a lot of fun,
or like any of the number of examples we could pull? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
probably.
You think they just say shit to us because like if they say the opposite, it'll probably actually be worse for us.
They very much need people to be rats in cages in a lot of ways. And if you don't get in a box in a certain amount of ways, society doesn't allow itself to function in free-flowing ways.
That is kind of interesting.
You do need a necessitation of cogginess to your view on humanity as the state. You need to view them as cogs to some extent. And you need to cogify them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the shit gets wild, man. Look at an undeveloped country. If you don't have them cogged down real good.
It is true. It is true. You gotta probably... Not everyone should have...
If everyone's like Elon Musk and thinks they can launch rockets into space and just develop like Wi-Fi for whoever, yeah, there's going to be some externality problems.
I could see that. It is kind of one of those things where you gotta set their record straight or else, right?
It's kind of, I don't know, it's a little scary. People are inherently savage, and I think the modern amenities and comforts allow us to too easily forget that. Yeah. We flip back to it that quick. If electricity went out, if power went out all across the country for 30 minutes, it would be anarchy.
It is interesting. So I did just, we had Yom Kippur, which is really like a fast. You don't really have your phone. And it's nice. It's nice when you don't have your phone, you know, and it's just put away. Like, even now, I get a text and it's like, my partner, very sweet, but I feel like she wants me to respond all the time. And like, that's fine. That's just how it is sometimes, the societal norms. But it's nice to be off the grid.
Yes.
You know, and not be needed.
Yes.
You know, and not need something either. It's just like one of those things where you're like, oh, I can just sit alone with my thoughts. I feel like my shower is the only like safe place. You know?
Yeah, well,
where it's like, well, I'm not bringing my phone in my shower. My girlfriend does bring her phone in the shower, which I think is wild.
How does that work?
She perches it on the ledge, and she's not as bad with her phone than I am. I'm worse. Like sometimes I'll look at my screen time, and it'll say 11 hours.
Hang on, can we do a check? Can we do it?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I haven't done it in a super long time, so this is a good.
How do you do it?
I don't know. Settings.
Sometimes it would tell me, and then I just had to be like, please don't tell me.
Screen time settings and screen time.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it.
Oof. Well, this is going to count the hours at work that I use my phone to play a podcast. So keep that in mind. And I listen to podcasts basically all day long.
Today's been 8.5 hours.
Today I used I'm up 16% from last week.
I'm down 10%. It's still a lot.
I'm at 7.5 hours.
You're doing much better than me, dude.
Today I almost hit 5, so that's better.
I've hit 8.5 today, and my daily average has been 9 hours and 23 minutes.
Yeah, it seems like I'm averaging right around 7 or 8.
That's like every
disgusting.
minute of the day.
That's very disgusting.
No, it makes no sense, and I don't know, I don't know if it counts stuff in the background, because the thing is, I also played video games for a few hours today.
Really?
So, I don't understand.
So you're just looking at screens. I mean, my head's been hurting recently, and I've been like, okay, I wake up, look at my phone, I read, then I go to work, and I'm looking at a TV screen as a computer monitor all day, and then going back to screens, and it's like, what are we done?
I played 2 hours of tennis today. I don't know how this is possible. I don't think it is possible.
Hey, these statistics are fake.
They can't be real. They're just, if anything, they'd probably want you to look at a smaller number to be like, oh, it's not so bad. It's depressing.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
doing
scared
better.
for
5 hours
society.
isn't so bad. Yeah, it's...
Because people aren't engaging with other people. And they think they are through these things.
I think we see it a bit in comedy shows. I think, first of all, I get it. The idea that they don't want us talking to them, that's probably been going on for a while. But I do see that a lot. No one will sit in the front, and people are like, oh, don't talk. And that could be, a cause of people like Matt Rife using crowd work videos. That isn't really showing what we do, etc. But people don't want to go to comedy shows as much anymore, I feel.
Do you think? I don't know.
I mean, you're at Comedy Works. Probably people were always going to Comedy Works, but
Yeah. I mean, on the whole, the industry is up, but maybe the distribution between larger shows is more concentrated. So, the arena, there's more arena acts than there's ever been.
Yeah.
So those seats, those numbers are pretty heavily skewing the data versus, people going out to their neighborhood pub to see comedy.
Are people doing, when comics go in, I mean, yes, you can see a weekend maybe, but how many days is the max? Are people doing 3 days?
Typically.
Are they ever
3
doing
or 4? Yeah,
they're doing 4?
I see some people come in Thursday and leave Sunday after a Sunday show.
Who's doing 4?
Big names that want to do a whole weekend.
They'll do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I mean, if Tim Dillon wants to come to South, he might as well come in, do Thursday, do 2 shows Thursday, add a show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and 2 shows Sunday.
They're all selling out?
Every single one of those will sell out.
Wow.
If Tim did that. Every single one of those shows will sell out.
Are you getting
that's 2, that's 8 shows that'll sell out.
Are you getting you're getting Cam Patterson and the Kill Tony
I hope
people?
so. That'd be sick. I hope so.
I think I saw they were going. I know his feature pretty well.
I think Cam's downtown.
He's downtown. Jari's cool. He runs the Don't Tells in Orlando.
Nice.
He I think is mainly his feature. But that's probably gonna be a sick show.
Yeah, that will be a sick show.
I wish I knew them. A lot of the people from Orlando moved to Austin and hang with him, and David Jolly and the Kill Tony people.
Do you have a lot of friends down in Florida?
I used to live in Orlando for a few years, so I go to Orlando quite a bit, and they are very kind to me, and probably everyone in Denver. So if you ever want to go, I like to think of it as if I can help a Denver comic too, if any Denver comics are watching, you're going to an area where I know people, I will absolutely, provided they're comic,
Yeah.
I won't vouch for someone that
isn't, of scuff or whatever.
Yeah, I can't vouch for, and if I have to vouch and say, hey, this person has 5, that's fine, that's okay too. But as long as you're in the scene, probably decent. I think there's so many good comics in the scene.
Well, and the nice thing about being in the scene is that these opportunities like you're presenting come along where it's oh yeah, if you're going to go on a trip somewhere to whatever, connect you with someone and you can maybe get a spot.
Denver's definitely a scene like that they make a difference. I mean, it's got their drama. It can be cliquey and nothing's perfect, but
I'm happy to be here.
I think it's a great scene. Does the South do anything for local comics or no?
We do some shows and stuff, and I mean they have local comics on our roster that do stuff.
That's just the pros, though, right? Yeah. Pros do the South.
Pretty much just pros do Comedy Works.
Yeah.
in general.
That's how it works, right?
Pretty much.
It's just how the system's created.
Yeah, I think so.
Almost Famous doesn't even do stuff.
I don't
sometimes.
know.
Okay.
Maybe they do. I think they do, actually.
Yeah, it's those two. Well,
I'm not positive, but
I'm not crossing my fingers for that.
I'm gonna go check these wings here.
Yeah,
we'll take a little break.
All right, perfect.
And eat some food, enjoy ourselves.
Oh yeah, let's do it. That sounds great.
You want to kick us to break with a improvised station identification?
What do we do?
Whatever you want.
You're watching the Enthralled podcast. Hello. Let's eat some wings.
Woo! We're back. We're live. It's the After Hours show. And you've got a full belly, sir.
Honestly, not just saying this for the pod, potentially the best wings I've ever had. And I haven't had as many smoked wings as I think I need to now. I think that makes a thing. I saw the equipment. I have a Traeger as well. We're going to do a shvitz, a cross episode. Sean's going to teach me how to get wings even half as good. I would be beyond elated.
You could do just as good, brother.
But I don't know.
But I have been saying this. The wings are always better when the producers aren't here.
It is funny. They're juicy. The flavor was right. It was very good. I ate the seconds and then probably the thirds. It was great. It was great. These are some fire wings.
Well, hopefully you can send some more people my way for some interesting conversations and some wing enjoyers to enjoy some more wings.
Is it always wings? Is wings kind of?
I mean, I can switch it up.
What else
wings,
have you done?
The reason that wings kind of became the thing was that it works well timing wise, and there's a large error of. I mean, they can get them pretty great without. You can make some mistakes and they're still pretty great.
You don't have to. It doesn't require as much attention.
Yeah, brisket is like if you make a mistake, at any part of the 18-hour journey, you can have a difficulty.
So it's rub 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Let them sit.
Yeah, for
put
30.
them on. 45.
45, 40. Yeah.
40, 45. Flip. 40, 45. Then you take them out.
Mm-hmm.
You then leave them for 10 minutes.
Yeah, wrap them in foil, aluminum foil.
What does the foil do? Just keeps it in?
Yeah, you want to put them this way like a taco, and then you want to take the foil and just crease the middle along, and then fold the sides in so that it's just kind of like an oven to let it rest. So that's going to allow for a little deeper cooking through that cooling process.
Okay, so it's yeah, it was good. I'm leaving happy. It's sober saying this too. What
do we give them out of 10 for the fans?
No, they were 10 out of 10.
10, whoa.
Yeah, they were great. They were excellent.
Wow!
First of all, I wasn't necessarily expecting, sometimes you just, dudes try to cook, right? And, I
didn't do dishes, so it does look like, a place where you'd walk in and dude trying to be cooking. But,
there's definitely levels of your friends cooking for you. There's some sort of, we'll make food, and there's others that I have no idea what they're doing, but are trying something. I've been on that giving end of not really doing a good job of being well, I'm hungry, and let's figure that out. I'm actually
there's a good bit the spectrum of friends giving friends food for sure.
Writing it down.
Some funny there.
Spectrum of dudes.
The bros that are we could pick something up, or people. The lowest tier is probably we could DoorDash something here. We're not even going to leave type of thing. Bro, come on.
I think there's lower tiers. Because
what's lower?
Well, so DoorDash, I feel is all right, we're going to at least spend money. We're going to outsource the problem, right? We know this. It is lazy. It's in one sense, it's lazy. It's hey, why don't we just split it? We're both going to spend money. And that's fine. There's levels of friendship maybe where you're well, I don't know. But if you're hosting, I feel that's not really the right thing. But everyone's at different financial level. I think a lower one is creating snacks can be acceptable. So I can understand snacks as being an acceptable thing. But I'm trying to think of a real SpaghettiOs.
Ooh.
Open up a can of SpaghettiOs.
Rough.
I feel that would be pretty bad.
Got
what
some
else?
Hotpockets in the
Hotpockets.
freezer in the garage.
Hotpockets
in the freezer in the garage.
Garage freezer.
Yeah, that adds to it, right?
I think Hotpockets is exactly what I was trying to tap into. The real, I eat this because I'm sad.
Pizza rolls.
Yeah,
Anything that you can play Valorant to.
What's Valorant?
It's a video game, PC-based video game.
What type of game?
Anything you can play Rainbow Six to. Anything you can play, I mean...
Is it a shooter too?
I mean, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like video games.
What do you... Apex. Anything you can play Apex to.
So, I like roguelikes. I'm actually playing this game called Going Under.
What's roguelikes?
Roguelikes, have you ever played Hades?
No.
Oh, Hades.
Tell me about this.
Game of the year. It's kind of like a dungeon crawler, but it also is labeled in Greek mythology. It's excellent. It's you should absolutely play it. Roguelites are a game where you're going through runs basically, and you get let me pause the pod for 1 sec. So roguelites are you're going on a run basically. It's a dungeon crawler. If you die, it's permadeath, but you get
permadeath.
Permadeath, like you have to restart the run, but you get
like atheism death. Permadeath. That sounds scary.
You just die. You don't go to a checkpoint.
Oh, okay.
But fair. Basically, but you get
so you
get
beat
things
the whole game without dying.
Yeah, but the game gets progressively easier from each run, and sometimes like you go on a run and then you beat a boss, and then you go on a different one to beat a boss. But like Dead Cells, you never played Dead Cells?
No.
These are fantastic games, but this one, Going Under, is very funny. It's got good writing. You are in a startup environment, like a corporate startup environment, where you're working for this soda company, and it's all based in like corporate ease, and the dialogue is wonderful.
I would love this game. What is it called?
It's called Going Under. It's very funny. It's they say things like it's very witty and it's spiteful, and they insert like good dialogue in this. Like you're talking to a character, and he's like, I'm very well read. I read every 3 pages, so I read 3 times as many books as other people, which is so stupid. It's stupid, but it's a funny dialogue that they're like thoughtful in this, just as an example. And it's a great game. So I play that. But yeah, we're talking about the levels of buddies and food, because I do think that's a really interesting.
Baseline is you pull it from the freezer in the garage.
Yeah.
Not the main freezer. The freezer in the garage. Yeah, this is a key distinction.
Because they're only eating TV meals. That's why they have to have that second one.
Bingo.
Right?
Okay, so they pull it from that freezer, and they heat it up using only wave-based heat. Wave-based technology.
Yeah,
they're on a different wavelength than the most productive members of society.
That is pretty interesting. There is DoorDash, you split that. There is snacks. I feel like snacks is an acceptable one, depending on the snacks. I'll entertain with snacks. I feel like if you go to Trader Joe's, they're very thoughtful. Like I'll have cacio e pepe puffs, right? Like, they're in a bag. You can buy a bag of chips, but like it's kind of an interesting flavor profile. You can get away with that depending on the duration of time you're hanging out with. I think that plays a part.
What flavor profile?
Cacio e pepe in cheese puffs.
Oh,
very interesting.
I caught some of that.
But yeah, I think like the SpaghettiOs or Hotpockets, that's a level of like.
I think there's different tiers of snacks you could go into there if you wanted to go deeper. Of like. There's snacks through time, like snacks in your teenage years versus snacks in your college years versus snacks when you're 30 are different among boys.
I do kind of have a bit where I talk about how I'll flex by busting out the good snacks.
Ooh, what? What is a good snack?
I'll say like some dried mangoes, some dark chocolate peanut butter cups.
Oh.
Maybe some non-organic grass-fed cocaine.
I mean,
that's the
good stuff. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like that.
So
that's a good one.
Idea. But I do think it comes to like, I do think there's something very like, depending on what type of person it is, it can be what type of snacks, but what type of food options they kind of like bring when you're hanging out with them.
Well, now you make me feel bad because I had Patrick here and I had a busy week and he was so kind to let me skip the wings and I'm going to have him back just to cook him some food.
Oh, hopefully he won't hear this episode. He's
going to definitely hear this episode.
Oh, yeah, he will probably. Yeah, but these wings were sick. Sorry that you missed a good day.
Love you, Patrick.
You could come for the shvitz. We'll figure it out.
yeah, for
on
sure.
Round 1 or 2. Yeah, then there's door dashing. That's a common thing. Like you can do that, I guess. But it is weak. It's weak.
And then up from that is and you're cutting a vegetable or a fruit.
Yeah.
Any meal, it doesn't matter. But if the man is cutting a vegetable or fruit for another man, that's a tier up.
He's dicing. He's what is it? Juliet,
any Juliet type of
Julietting, right? He's Julietting the vegetables.
Any Julietting of carrots, any dicing of onions.
Exactly.
Any peeling of apples. This man is going through another tier of effort.
If he's peeling, I'm
reeling.
It's going. I do think that's really interesting. Yes, that's
milkshake
like the big
bring
thing.
The boys to the yard. No. Hand cut vegetables bring the boys to the yard.
Exactly. Smoothie's pretty interesting, I guess.
Well shaped and cut ingredients bring the boys to the yard. Not the milkshakes.
Oh yeah, that's where the homies go.
The dip has properly sliced things. That's crazy.
That's
when the consistency of your boy's salsa is really accurate, that it almost looks store-bought, you have to be like, wow, is this knife from Japan?
I do think, and then you talk about like how there are also, it's kind of tangential, it's kind of different too, but like what you did, grilling and smoking, because that's a man's man thing.
That's a different tier just because of the manliness involved.
Yeah, it adds because it's like...
It's back to the roots of cavemanhood. It's fire is involved.
It's like, that is cool. You're chefing and cutting and Julietting this vegetable.
But like, where's the meats? Where's Arby's calling on the phone?
But if I'm broing out, I some smoked meat.
Yeah, I mean, cuts vegetables are nice when the ladies are over also, but, when the boys want to hang out and watch Sunday Night Football and Carrie Underwood. I've been waiting all day for this fucking shit, man.
We're not impressing each other with salad. You know? If you're like, hey, I made a goat cheese and arugula salad, you want a pod with me? You're like, no.
Yeah, you're not getting people to your home with arugula.
And arugula.
Hardly know.
All right, that's funny. I like that. I like that. There is something there. I love food stuff.
Food based, yeah.
Yeah, it's
like Jim
wholesome,
Gaffigan.
But it's true. He does a lot of food stuff. I've heard of it.
Oh, dude,
I actually don't.
He's like the legendary. He's he is the Mount Rushmore of food based comedy.
I should listen to. I know.
Gaffigan, dude. You got to check out his albums.
He's clean too, right?
Oh yeah, you definitely if you were studying like joke writing and you should definitely check out his albums.
Okay,
just for that alone.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I feel sometimes embarrassed. Like as a comic, I feel like I need to be watching more good comedy.
Well, I will tell you this: it went through my early phase of I was a fan of comedy, didn't see myself doing comedy. Was like, I got to be a lawyer to make money in this world. Blah blah blah. High school, whatever. But I would soak up a ton of comedy and. That's a different level of learning of comedy.
Yeah.
So and even now, I kick myself all the time. People bring up a name of a special or someone that I don't know, haven't seen. Got to go back and watch it. Got to do my homework.
I should. Where do you like HBO or you just like YouTube it?
Low key, the way to get like the really good ones is like, well, I consume a ton of comedy podcasts. So comics talking to other comics about comedy.
Yeah.
Through that, they talk about, stuff from different generations, especially if they're older comics. And then I just go back and watch that through YouTube, through wherever it is.
What are your favorite comedy pods?
I mean, if you're looking for that kind of reference material, Joe Rogan's guest-based, just pick the guests that you think are going to reference those things.
Yeah, okay,
that's the kind of way to go about that.
If he has a comic on.
Well, specific comics that are going to talk about comedy, because some of them aren't. But yeah, I found that's where you get a lot of those.
Who's some comics that talk a ton about comedy?
Well, I mean, shit, him and Dave Attell.
Okay, yeah.
Talk a ton about comedy when he was on.
Yeah,
like
that'd probably be a good episode for me to check out.
Anyone who's an old head that goes on Rogan, I would say it's a good. I mean, Ron White, something like that. I mean, anyone who's an old head of comedy. Even if you don't like their comedy directly, I think you're gonna get a if you're looking to learn. I mean, looking to learn.
Always, dude.
I'm saying that's maybe a good place. I mean, but HBO, dude. HBO half hours from the late 90s or 2000s.
I had those queued up. The thing is, I'll try to put them on sometimes, and having a girlfriend who goes there is like, "What? You want to watch more comedy? You're going back?" And it's like, well, I'm trying to learn, but nothing bad against her. I totally get it. Like, I would understand that too, but like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'd love to watch a special right now.
Yeah, I don't get to
fucking way.
I'm in the same boat of like, yeah, would love to throw a special on the TV and hang, but that is not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I could understand.
Trying to throw on Tim Dillon's new show on Netflix. Have you seen that?
No, he has a show?
It's like a 45-minute show. It's like a
is stand-up, though?
special-esque... No, it's not stand-up. It's like a throwback to like 90s trashy, like Jerry Springer type.
What's it called?
This Is Your Country, I think, on Netflix.
Okay. Does it seem
I want to be paid for that advertisement, Tim.
Does it seem very stand-up-y?
No, I mean it's all live recording, so in that sense he's like talking to people and making jokes live. So he's like, you look like a school shooter. Here, stand up.
Oh, I definitely want to watch it.
It's so funny. Tim's the best.
That's exactly what I want to do, actually, when I get home. Yeah, we got a 5-minute warn.
5-minute warn? Well, you know what that means. It's time to bring out the device. Have you heard of the country of England, Chet?
Yeah.
Silly little country that we broke away from to become the hegemonic power of the world. What's up? Well, they've got this silly little thing over there where they do knighting.
Okay.
Here at Top Shelf Studios after a long-form conversation. And you, of all people, understand this. All my life, people have been like, hey, can I get a couple inches? How's it going up there? Because I get judged about my physical meat suit that I was born into. And I'm sure you have this exact same thing. My uncle, for many years, he's now passed. 5'3", 50-year-old guy. I was a 16-year-old, 6'7" kid. We go to diners. Wait,
wow.
the hostess doesn't know who's trafficking who. Okay? Very confusing. So I have a respect for the extremities of the human experience, especially as a man. These are just vessels. They don't matter all that much on the scope of people and the impacts that we get to have on each other in the world. So after a long-form conversation, I'm excited to give you a heart height. Chet, how tall do you stand physically?
5'0".
Chet, I heart height thee 6'5". This is a large-hearted man here. This is a man with a caring heart. Hopefully not too big of a heart to have, physical problems from that heart.
You're like 6'5" or 6'7"?
I'm like 6'9". Lots of problems.
Are you really?
Lots of problems in this atmosphere up here.
Dude, this might be the biggest height difference, maybe. Because I'm 5'0".
Where can the people check you out?
Wild.
Chet Comedy.
Chet Comedy.
On Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And all over. Dude, it's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Oh, it's been great. This is just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Maybe you'll come back on with Patrick and cook you both wings.
Absolutely. If there's going to be wings, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. And you voted today, Shirley. Because this is the day to do it. This episode drops Election Day. Vote for the freedom of democracy. It's been a pleasure, brother.
Very nice.
Fuck off and be well.